I'll show you what it's like every single day. Putting in the work, ain't no other way. Everything you see in your dreams can come true. You gotta understand that it all starts with you.
Ain't it funky how time flies when you're having fun? Ain't it lovely how time creeps when you're on the run?
Hi, I'm Kristen Hayman, and you're watching a strong, empowered, and classy project. Right now, we're here with Tovi Khali, the singer, the songwriter, the poet. Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. I'm honored to have you in my presence.
I'm honored to be here, definitely.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I am a singer-songwriter, spoken word artist, producer of shows. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. And yes, the gumbo and all the whole fixins and all that kind of good stuff. That is where I'm from. We call that pot liquor. Yes. And I came to Chicago from New Orleans by way of Katrina. And over 10 years ago, I was displaced here, and I decided to stay in such a great city and such a productive city.
All right.
So I decided to stay here and make Chicago my second home.
Look at that. See, I haven't been to New Orleans yet, but it's on my list because I have some close friends that always go back.
It's that type of city. It's that type of city. Once you go, it wraps its arms around you and holds you in its bosom, and you're just like, New Orleans is your great aunt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It is your grandmother's sister, you know, because it is that type of city, and people will always make sure that you have a great time when you go to New Orleans. Absolutely. Wonderful. That's our job.
Tell us a little bit about Katrina. Are you open about talking about it? Sure. I know you are in your shows. Yeah. What was your personal experience with the hurricane and how it affected the city?
Well, my experience, I had come back from Los Angeles. I was living there for 4 years, and I went back to New Orleans in 2004. And I began to MC in this nightclub and live at the top, in the apartment up top. And it was fabulous. I was having a wonderful life in my hometown, living as a tourist. It was wonderful. And when Katrina hit, I had to leave my little French Quarter apartment and go down the street to the Royal Sonesta Hotel and take refuge because it's a stronger building.
Right.
So after being there a couple of days with no power and things of that nature, because once the storm hits, you lose your electricity. And so it's summertime, the end of summer, it's hot. The humidity is 100 or better. You know, it's a very uncomfortable situation. I was with a lot of the tourists in the hotel, and there was a curfew. We were not allowed to leave and things of that nature. So
your freedom was
it was interesting because usually after a hurricane, that's not the activity.
Right.
People come out to the community, they clean up, they help each other, that type of thing. That wasn't the case this time.
Okay.
So I noticed it was different, and I had no idea about the breach of the levees. No one was giving us that information. I guess they didn't want everybody to be chaotic.
Right.
So it was a situation where we had to kind of scramble around and talk to each other and communicate to find out certain things.
So what was the breach of the levees? What do you...
the levees, when they broke and they breached in like 3 places. So I was in the French Quarter.
Okay.
The French Quarter is like a little island.
Okay.
So all of the water was around us, and we were stuck in the quarter.
Yikes.
Right. And so the only way we got out was with some buses, and I believe it was Senator Kennedy that sent buses, and sent buses into the French Quarter, and I got the last seat on the bus.
So when we all think about these different things from a distance, but you had to actually be in survival mode.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Like, to get what was your natural instinct?
I don't know. You don't know what you would do when something like that happens. If something like that happened, nobody knew what to do.
Right.
My whole life, I went through hurricanes and never had it gone that far.
Right.
And
that's why a lot of people stayed.
Right. They were like, it's okay. We were always okay.
Right.
And some people couldn't leave. Their pride wouldn't let them leave, and physically they couldn't leave. And it was just one of those moments where everyone sprung into action. I know the media covered a lot of negativity, but there was a lot of heroic surviving going on there. People were saving other people, dying, giving their lives to save children, and
Yeah, didn't you? Okay, there was a story. I know something about a child was jumping into her father's arms.
Yeah. and the wind.
She missed?
She missed.
Wow.
She missed.
And she was gone?
She's gone.
Wow.
She missed.
Now, how do you survive this situation with a sane mind?
It is but God. Because it was, I've been here 10 years.
Yes.
But year 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, was rough,
Yeah.
where I couldn't open the door to go outside or just to the lobby to check the mailbox. It was just impossible because I didn't know if I would be back.
See, not to even compare your experience with mine, I'm just like giving you my perspective. It's like with 9/11, just knowing that the planes hit and they fell and went into a building and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
I was in Detroit and I was being pulled out of school, and then now all of a sudden I never noticed the sounds of planes going by on a normal day-to-day basis with neighborhoods. But as soon as it started happening, if it sounded like it was on my roof, I would actually brace myself.
That's right.
It's like things are never the same.
That's right.
Little things
Absolutely.
like that. So I kind of.
Absolutely. Well, I'm the same way about water.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I was working in an office where the pipes burst and water started to come from the light fixtures, and it was coming in abundance. I just got my things and I left. They were like, talk to your supervisor. I have no time. I'm from Katrina. I don't have time for that.
Okay,
there's no time.
Right.
And I'm not waiting for anyone, if you can understand why. I would never wait for anyone to try to save me or to come wait for a cavalry of any kind. It never comes.
Wow.
In my mind.
Because it didn't.
It's just you have to be in survival. You have to help yourself.
Help yourself.
Otherwise they'll fly over you and look down on you.
With the cameras.
That's right.
What a lesson. What a lesson.
Right.
Well, now you grow stronger from that. So.
What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And I just thought that was a cute little thing that people would say, but it is definitely a survival quote, and it's definitely something that I look at differently, now that I've experienced the thing. So
where do you think you got your strength? Just from life, not even from surviving this and your everyday life. Where do you get your strength?
God has given me such a resilient path, and I can't even explain it. I would, be lying if I said I knew and everything. I don't. I just try to be obedient and to try to be a vessel and and I know that I was singing before Katrina happened, and I survived it, I believe, because he knows he's put me in position. This is what I do. I'm a communicator, and I believe that I'm supposed to do something. There's a job for me to do, because I could have perished with a lot of people that I know.
Right. So you still have something left.
I had survivor's guilt, and probably like your friend had survivor's guilt. I had survivor's guilt for a while. Right. I was upset that other people passed away and I was alive.
Yeah, he's pretty quiet about it. Like, I just learned his story because I didn't think, I knew we always talk about great things in New Orleans, but he eventually told me. I'm like, wow, you were there during Katrina. Yeah. And he just kind of, he does like, I don't want attention for it because I feel like I'm not, because he wasn't from there. He's from Chicago, and then he, he wasn't there for the whole thing. He left in time.
And like your friend, I felt the same way. I was like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
My therapist was like, yeah, you got to talk about it. You got to write about it. You got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I had a poem that I wrote, French Quarter Style, which is the name of the show. The poem has blossomed into this production. Wow. And it happened, I wrote the poem before Katrina. After Katrina, it took on this spirit and this resilience, this strength, and it started to morph on its own, and it gave me strength. The words I had written years before that I just kind of was like, yeah, he was like, that's your signature piece. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Taking it lightly, and went back to the piece, and it was like that thing I needed, that piece of strength that I needed to kind of carry on to go to that next step, which became the production, which is growing beautifully, and God is working, and it's one story of thousands. Right. Thousands of stories.
But it's powerful because I remember, I just like online, it was a video that I saw of you, and it was expressing, giving us the feel of New Orleans. You brought us there. It was fun. And then you talked about Katrina, and I could kind of taste it. You were so raw with it. Like, we felt the tone in your voice change. And I said, ooh, I felt it. So thank you for your powerful a form of storytelling.
Thank you.
Because I know I wasn't there, but we could understand you, but still love New Orleans, the culture.
Well, because it's about for me, it's not about the attention like your friend. It's about preserving the music and the art form and the culture that we as Africans have brought to the southern United States, which we always call the tip of the Caribbean, but the southern United States, we brought a lot from the islands and from Africa here, and it's what America exploits today, as the music industry, there's just so much. There's so much in that gumbo,
much in that gumbo.
And everything. So, and I believe that the beads, New Orleans has a lot of French and Spanish culture as well, and I believe the beads come from the Spanish culture. Brazil also has a carnival.
Okay.
And which we are their ghetto cousin, because theirs is off the hook. So you take these are not Jerry beads. These are New Orleans Mardi Gras beads, and these are always extended to visitors to have a wonderful time. You don't have to show things, but it's always appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't have to show things. It's appreciated. That is too funny. So, all right. So then, culture is very important. I know we see beads around the city sometimes. What does that mean?
Well, sometimes they're left over from Mardi Gras.
Okay.
And they're thrown in the trees and things of that nature because they're left over. And definitely, it's something that everyone in America equates with New Orleans. And so we just leave them around. Sometimes we don't clean it up. It's a part of us.
It's a part.
If it's too high, we just leave it there.
So even in Chicago.
And that's probably me. You'll see these around town because we definitely, shameless plug, we're going to be doing the French Quarter style at the Promontory in Hyde Park on Fat Tuesday, which is February 9th, 2016 at 7 o'clock.
Nice.
Yes, and there will be a masquerade party afterwards, so you can stay for it if you'd like.
Ooh.
And this is
get to dress up.
you can do anything you like in New Orleans. We have a high tolerance for whatever you got going on. So I don't know about Chicago, but New Orleans we do. So definitely come in costume, come with your mask, and come and have a great time and celebrate Fat Tuesday with us and listen to the musical celebration of the preservation and resilience of old New Orleans.
Wow. Old New Orleans.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Before the water. And after. You'll see both sides. And we have a wonderful, wonderful presentation. We'll have a new part of the act from last time, from the 10th anniversary. We are going to have a part of Katrina. And it's going to be breathtaking. So I would definitely urge you to get a ticket and get on board.
Sounds powerful.
Absolutely.
The Katrina experience is already heavy enough. So I know if you're going to make us feel something,
I'm going to take you to New Orleans.
You're going to take us.
I want to take you to New Orleans one show at a time. Each
show?
and every one of you.
Show you what it's like every single day.